It was a very ominous intro. I apologize for that one. um, Hope everybody's doing good today. Tonight is Warrior Podcast for the Warrior Health. Um, I have a couple of things to share for tonight. Uh, Above all, I just want to know how everybody's doing. So as people come in, let's see how everybody's doing. Um, we'll do a roll call for that, right? So you come in, just you just let me know how you're doing. Somebody started off for me. There we go. We'll put that in there right now. Oh, love the intro. Thank you. Thank you. Alpaca Jen. What up, sis? How you doing? Driving, but might be able to hop on in about 30 minutes or so. You let me know. Um, I got a couple of fun little I got a couple of fun little mindset mentor podcast. I took a couple of clips. He has some pretty good things to talk about. I've been kind of doing some research by taking some time every now and then while I'm working to look into other people's gosh motivational speaking, podcasts, psychology, just all kinds of things like that that I can look towards to bettering my own knowledge to be able to help out and such. Jeremy, how you doing, bud? Yo yo, Junior, welcome. Uh, can't hear you on YouTube. Huh. That I don't know. Let me see if I can't get over to my YouTube here and see what the problem is on the YouTube. Let's see here. You might have me muted. My YouTube looks like it is good. I can hear myself. This is Brandon. Don't be confused about the name. Junior, let's see, 6 out of 10. 6 out of 10. I guess that's on the upward side of things, right? Let me see. There we go. See if I can maneuver this. Um, and Kelly, you said you can't. Okay, so you can hear. Okay, so Whitney, maybe it just might be muted. Jeremy, yo, bro, what's happening, bud? Are you sitting next to Jen? Are you coming in here just in case we're doing a trivia? This is Brandon Williams. Forgot the YouTube was set up for my daughter. No, well, I figured with the Gen. Most most people don't spell the name Jen as such. But how's your guys' day going? How's everybody doing? Oh yeah, well, hey, I went to my YouTube and I can hear it. And I literally signed into it. So like I'm listening to it from like a third party standpoint. Somebody else can't hear it, let me know. Nope, I'm good. I'm good. It's weird to hear myself. I don't usually watch my podcast back. Um, yeah, so roll call right now. Just tell me how you're doing today. Let me know who's in here and how everybody is doing. Let me see if I can adjust this arm a little bit here. There we go. My little microphone arm always gets messed up. There we go. So I can get it out of the way. This is the best I have felt since Thursday. I slept over 15 hours yesterday. Holy moly. Well, I'm glad you were feeling better. 15 hours of sleep is more than I get in a week, I think. Started off rocky. It's good now. YouTube is fine with the audio. Okay, good. So, hey, Whitney, I don't know if you understood, but everybody is basically saying it's just you. I'm always by your side listening. Oh, I know. I know. And answering, listening and answering. Brooke, how you doing? Crazy Monday. Glad to be home. Seattle needs a win. That is true. Brooke, I'm gonna need you to give me those updates too. Let me know how Seattle's doing. I can pull it up on my phone, but I want to take away too much of this. I'll be able to watch toward the end of it when the Seahawks start. Maybe it's me. Nobody has reached out, by the way. I'll just start this point, but I had listed off some things before. I'm probably going to do it again on Thursdays, Throwback Thursday, but nobody reached out about wanting to throw in some of their points to use towards, raffling some items. I think a lot of people are wanting to use it for the Goonies house coin, which is totally cool. I totally get it. And also, if anybody wants to gift their points once I post those, then let me know. I told anybody to reach out to me and they could let me know exactly, or they can tell me that they want to know how many points they have. I can tell them exactly how many points. But for the most part, we'll give away some stuff. I might just, if nobody does, then I'll just throw everybody's name in the hat once and we'll see who wins it and use the points towards other stuff. Trivia is just a bonus. Doing great. Oh yeah. It's 1-1. Brooke, I only need positive updates, okay? 1-1, not a positive. The 1-0 from before, very positive. Shocker, it's only me. All right, let me I'm going to start this off really quick. I got something I want to pull up on the screen. Have you guys listened to here for a second? Tell me what you guys think, okay? I'm going to talk about it afterwards. Got a couple of these good positive things here. Let's see. Let's see if I can bring this up. There we go. So that, to me, that's a very good. That's a huge thing right there because I'm a motorcycle rider. So, and that's something that's true in defensive driving course to get your motorcycle license. Right, when you're looking through the turn as you're turning, you look the direction. Now, if you're going to look straight in front of you as you're turning, then more than likely you're just going to keep going straight. So just to think about that aspect of why most people don't get what they want in the world is because they won't stop focusing on that, right? On those things. All those things that you don't want. I don't want that. I found that to be true back in the day when I was on the dating site and stuff like that. How many? I'm guessing men and women, right? Point out in their bios everything they don't want in another person, right? Whitney, I don't know what to tell you on that. I can't hear. I don't know. Can you hear me on here? Or could everybody hear the video at least? Let me know if you didn't hear the video. Because I don't want to keep talking about it if you guys didn't even hear it. But yes, so one of the main things that he was stating about that is, the focus on things that you don't want, the continuation of that. The things that you look at and the things that you will focus on are the things that you'll get, right? But like you think about, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be alone. You didn't hear the video. Okay, hold on a second. Let me do this. Let me close. I'm going to close this down. Let me see if I can bring it up through Facebook. Maybe that'll work. We'll play it again because it makes way more sense when you actually hear it. Okay. Let's see if this works. Tell me if you can hear it. Let me know.
The reason why most people don't get what they want in the world is because they won't stop focusing on what it is that they don't want. And what you look at and what you focus on, you will get. They're constantly thinking, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be sad anymore. And motorcyclists know this. In motorcycle school, they teach you to look through the turn, to only look at where you want to go, because wherever you look is where you're going to end up. The reason why most people don't get what they want in the world.
No. Did you guys all hear that? Okay, you guys could hear that. Okay, perfect. Okay, thank you for that. Can you guys not hear the YouTube? I can hear it when I go to the YouTube. Okay. So anyway, just to kind of go back to that reference,
Is because they won't stop focusing on what it is that they don't
it was
want.
such a
And
powerful
what
thing
you
when I
look
heard
at
it to have somebody say that the focus that you have on the things that you don't want is going to be the thing that you're going to end up getting, right? Essentially, like, I don't want this. I'm not looking for this. I don't
and what
want
you
this thing to
focus on,
happen.
you will get.
That's your
They're
focus.
constantly thinking,
So, like,
I don't want to be broke.
they're
I don't want
constantly
to be
thinking, like,
alone.
they don't want to be
I
broke. They don't want to
don't
be
want to be
alone.
sad anymore.
They don't want to be sad
And
anymore. You know, those things, right? So it's just, to me, I think that focus, like he's saying there constantly, right? Um, it's such a powerful thing to think about it in that level. Let me pull this back up. I thought I had that back up.
motorcyclists know this. In motorcycle school, they teach you to look through the turn, to only look at where you want to go, because wherever you look is where you're going to end up.
Wherever you look is where you're going to end up. How true is that? Somebody earlier today at my job, just a meeting that I had today, they kept saying all the negative things that all these um other companies did, right? Like how they didn't help them out, how they didn't do the things that they needed them to do, how they fell short of shipping, they fell short of pricing. It it was it was easy for me to be able to say to myself, let me focus on all those things that they're telling me that the other people aren't doing, and then let me blast that, right? And say, you know what? I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this, right? And let them keep focusing on those things. But instead, to understand how I would feel if I was one of them, I asked. It was a pair of women. They're a pair of purchasers and buyers for a company, big company doing a lot of aerospace stuff. And I basically just said, well, when they came back to you, I was being inquisitive. When they came back to you, did you ask them if they could lower the price? No, no, no. We don't have time for that. I said, okay. I said, but did you guys have time to send it out to like a bunch of other people? They said, yeah, because we're looking for the best price. I said, okay. But if you like dealing with a certain company and you like the idea of what they have to offer you, and there is a possibility of them lowering that price for you, wouldn't it be better to focus on that thing that you want as opposed, right, to that thing that you don't want? Because that's not going to get you anywhere. You're just going to get rid of it. And so it was that idea that he said about the motorcyclist, right? Looking through the turn. When you go to turn as a motorcyclist, like, you don't turn your handlebars. Like, you don't turn them like this. You push. You push towards the way that you're turning, and you look in the direction that you're turning. That's your focus. That's where you're going to go, because you're pushing yourself that way. Not because you're trying to turn, not because you're looking straight ahead, right? Um, what are your guys' thoughts on that? I'll play it one more time so you guys can see it, and then you guys let me know if you guys want to comment on it, or even come in and comment on it.
The reason why most people don't get what they want in the world is because they won't stop focusing on what it is that they don't want. And what you look at and what you focus on, you will get. They're constantly thinking, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be sad anymore. And motorcyclists know this. In motorcycle school, they teach you to look through the turn, to only look at where you want to go, because wherever you look is where you're going to end up.
Because where you look is where you're going to end up. I mean, it's true, right? No matter how you look at it, like, that's true. Wherever you look is where you're going to end up. I'm trying to see if my little stand thing. There we go. There we go. A little bit better. A little bit better. In business, better devil known than a new one. Keep your supplier by all means if possible if they are good. Here's the other thing too. When you're looking at different things, Junior, for you, that would be like you got your Etsy stuff, right? And the difference in this aspect would be if you had somebody from Washington, myself, let's say I'll use myself. Let's say I was a horrible experience for you through the Etsy and that was how you did your business. You got a bunch of people came to you to buy your shit, right? And because I was from Washington, you decided to not deal with any more people from Washington. Yet you could be getting a bunch more money if you were to continually being kind of giving the benefit of the doubt by telling people, hey, I had this really bad experience with this guy in Washington. He did this thing. Just want to make sure we're not going to have that same problem. They're like, no, of course not. Right. So it's so different in how people think that I think that when you start pertaining some of these things um, to your life and what I've been doing, which is pertaining this to work as well as like my kids. Like they get up in the morning, I'm like, make your fucking bed. But it wasn't because I needed them to make their bed. I just wanted them to start with something that they could accomplish, have one thing on their list that they could write down, right? And that's my thing, right? To try to have that one thing that you get in your life daily that you can accomplish, whether it be making sure all the dishes are done or all the laundry is done, the bed is made, everything's folded and put away. Whatever that is, that little sense of accomplishment, right? Is that focus that you have on what you want. You want things to be clean, so you do that idea that gets things clean. You want to have a better day, feel better, right? So you do those things to kind of make that happen, right? You write that list down and you make that shit work. Mind over matter, turn everything into a positive, right? Exactly. I struggle with this. I don't want anybody to think that when I say these things, that I'm like, hey, you guys listen to me, do this. This is why I bring these videos on and I'm like, hey, like watch this, or I got this from another place because I don't have the brain power for this shit. I can't just think of this stuff on the fly. I'm pretty good at talking, but I don't just think of it on the fly. And I have to get it from a source and I learn from that source, right? And I think that if I can learn from it and then I can teach you and you learn from it, you teach your husband or your wife or your kids and then they move on, they teach somebody, that's that positive on top of a positive on top of a positive. Now, it only takes one person in there to be negative. So if you're telling somebody, "Hey, have you thought about this? Have you done this? Why are you doing this?" and they're constantly coming back at you like, "What do you mean? I don't understand. Like, why would you even ask me that?" Like, why if they're defensive in that, that's a negative, right? You have a choice. You can either play into that or you can pull back from that or you can walk away from that. You don't have to keep that in your life for any reason. And I think there's a lot of people that play that card with me, and I don't think that they realize how much it doesn't affect me anymore. And it hasn't affected me for a couple of years now. If you have that negative idea and you want to bring that to me, and I feel like I've hurt your feelings for any reason, I may apologize. I may not. Knowing me, I probably will apologize. But the one thing I will not do is I will not let somebody continually blame me for something that is not my fault or my problem. I got enough of those things that I do for myself on my own life, let alone to worry about somebody else's. Kelly's birthday is June 1st, 1981. Wait, is that how that goes? Or is that January 6th? Month, day, year. No, it's June 1st. June 1st, 81. I celebrate my birthday every year with the Goonies weekend. I guess I should have read that next, huh? Teaching them reaching goals, even little like making a bed, organizing is positive, right? Exactly. Oh, my nose is bugging me. Um, what is up, Trace? How you doing, bud? Yeah, I think that's a huge thing to be able to teach your children things that you're also working on yourself. I don't think that's hypocritical at all. Um, July 1st, 79. Oh, look at that. Got a June 1st and a July 1st. 79. Same as me. I'm April 9th, 1979. Okay. I'm gonna play this one more time just because we're talking about it right now, just for anybody that might not have seen it, right?
The reason why most people don't get what they want in the world is because they won't stop focusing on what it is that they don't want. And what you look at and what you focus on, you will get. They're constantly thinking, I don't want to be broke. I don't want to be alone. I don't want to be sad anymore. And motorcyclists know this. In motorcycle school, they teach you to look through the turn, to only look at where you want to go, because wherever you look is where you're going to end up. The reason why most people don't get what they
Wherever you look is where you're going to end up. That's a big one right there. Here's another one, and it's from a very unlikely source. Tom Cruise. But if you love him or you hate him, you can't diminish the fact that he's built a $600 million empire, right? And not because of he won the lotto, or he's constantly getting these big roles and stuff. I mean, he's played his small roles and he's done his due diligence, but man, the guy does his own stunts. The guy learns how to do shit, and he takes his energy to focus on the next role, and he does it again, right? So I felt like this was a positive to be able to bring this one in. Let me do this. Let me do this. There we go.
You just have to write down your dream and then write down a list of how do you accomplish that? What do I need to do? What do I need to learn to be able to accomplish those goals? And that's what I do. I don't just sit there and worry about it. I just start doing it. Don't be so worried if you're afraid. That's fine. Just keep working through it. Really, the fear you feel is the unknown. It's what you don't know. Just kind of recognize that it's okay not to know, and work towards a knowingness of things. And the only way to do it is not to be in your head on it, but just to start looking, go out and start doing it. You just have to write down your dream.
Anyway,
and then
I thought that was pretty powerful. What do we got? Irene, so I'm working on restructuring my whole life routine wise, getting back on track, reorganizing everything slowly. Talking to people that are good with routines help me take tips on how to better manage my goals and improve my living space. I appreciate your input on what works and helps you. I appreciate you saying that. Because it is a hard thing, right? Most see where they want to go, but they don't know how or what tools to get there, let alone put effort into it. Again, both those, so true. That idea that we all have that, like, that next, not, I won't even say the idea that we all have. Let me give you a little insight into my brain. On a day-to-day basis, when I wake up in the morning, when you get up and you go take a shower, right? What do you take a shower, you brush your teeth, put on deodorant, put on some lotion. The girls will do their hair, guys will pluck their nose hairs or something. I don't know, whatever your routine is, right? You have that in your head. That's already set. You already know you're going to do that. Add something to your routine that isn't something normal, right? Like for me, like, the making the bed. Do you have to? Probably not, right? I'm a single dad. I get home, if my bed's not made. I mean, who's gonna say something to me? Who's coming over to look at my bed being unmade? Nobody. So there's a start. There's one thing, right? The other thing is sometimes it's just adding another thing to it. For my kids, what I'll do is when they get home and they do their chores, that's fine. But before they go to school, sometimes I'm like, take out the garbage, like load up the dishwasher, run it, take out the recycle, right? Like just little things here and there. But then focusing the goals on making sure that they write down those individual things that they not only have to do or will do, but the things that they've already done. You get to write those down too. Every day you start fresh, right? And if you've already done it, then write another one. There's all kinds of different things that are out there, I think, that people can use to be able to focus on, like, how to compartmentalize their daily structure, but then also just like what Irie was saying is being able to organize your physical life, your visual life, those things. Sometimes it starts with how often are you in your car? How dirty is your car? Can you vacuum it? Can you wipe it down? Take some pride in getting it super clean. And as soon as that's done, you do the next thing. And the next thing could be, maybe I'm just going to clean the entire kitchen. I'm going to clean the entire bathroom, right? Like something like that's the physical side of cleaning it up. And when you start doing that, it's a lot easier to focus your brain on the the mental side of things to be able to do that, right? Um, I did want to play one more. Hold on, see if this. Whoops.
If you're always
Hold on. This is a good one. I think people are really gonna like this one.
You will never be free if you're always worrying about other people's opinions. You need to develop the courage to be disliked. You won't be everyone's cup of tea, and that's perfectly okay. So stop wasting your energy trying to tiptoe around other people's wants and needs so that you will be accepted. Otherwise, it's just like Jim Carrey said, your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world, and you don't want to be invisible. You will never be free if you're always.
What do you guys think about that one? How we focus on other people.
About other
Just like
people's
again,
opinions.
figure out so-
You need to
how-
develop the
it doesn't
courage
stop.
to
Hold on.
be.
There we go.
You will.
Yeah, what do you guys think of that one? Oh, what's up, Jess? How you doing? Storyboards are awesome to work towards something. Even just doing that part, right? Writing a list down is starting that organization, right? Getting those things that you need in your life organized by organizing the way and the steps that you're going to do those things. That breeds that beginning, right? Like you start small with it. So like I put out a list and I tell the kids, this is what needs to get done. What do they have to do? They have to take that list and they got to write it down separately for what they're going to organize between themselves to take care of. Then they have to add 3 things to that list to be able to do those 3 things. These are what is it called? The endorphins that you get when you're checking off a list, right? That if you just tell your kid to do something, hey, why didn't you take out the garbage? They take out the garbage. They're like, well, why did I get yelled at? I forgot to take out the garbage. Whatever. I don't care. Fuck you, dad. Shit like that, right? Sometimes it's like, okay, here's your list. Do these things. And when they're done doing that, you're like, hey, thank you. Like I'm proud of you and I appreciate those things that you did. Thank you so much. Right? My daughter is started to load of laundry for me. Let's see if I'll bring her out here real quick. Hey Jade, come here. So she started a load of laundry. I can hear that it's done. So I'll have her come out here and I'll be like, hey, can you switch over the laundry for me? And we'll see what she says. Love it. Yes. Is that the organizing part? Hey Jen, how you doing? Stephanie, it's gratifying checking things off a list. Yeah, especially the list that you made for the things that you need to do. Huge. Who is this motivational speaker? This guy he's called the Mindset Mentor, but his name is I think you Google that, the Mindset Mentor. His name will come up. I don't have it active on my screen right now. Sorry. I've never cared what other people think about me or my opinion, but I think a lot of that and what's to be said about that kind of stuff isn't just a negative person coming into your life saying, I don't fucking like fuck that person, whatever. I don't fucking care about that person. But I think people do care about the people that they respect and love and care about and what their opinions are. Right? Like you wouldn't just look at a group of people that you love and care about and they all say the same thing and then you're like, I don't care about what any of you say. Like nobody does that, right? You still care about what those people say, but I think you need to throw it out of your brain when people try to tell you how to live your life, the things that you should do for you, the things that you need to structure in your own life, right? Like if you don't agree, you're the only one that gets to, or that has to live your life at all. I ride by the seat of my ass and I'm so unorganized it's not even funny. Maybe I should start this list shit. Trace, you let me know, bud, and I'll help you out, man. I got lists for days. I actually started a company once to start organizing people's garages because it's like that's the biggest junk drawer of your house usually is your garage. and people were like, man, you can make some money, organizing, cleaning, and going through people's garages for them. And I was like, hell no. Well, if it wasn't a shitty time in my life, I probably would have made some good money. I'm opposite. I always care too much for what others think. I'm gonna dwell on the combo for days. Yeah, and that is an empathetic feeling for a lot of people that are like that too. Um, that light is bright. Um, because there is a fine line between not caring and caring about what people do think about you, and it's just a matter of how positive that you can reinforce that thought or that idea about how your friends and your family and the people that you love and care about feel about you. Oh, thank you. I don't know what that was about though, or that must have been for the other one above. 2-1 Seattle, Julio home run. Yes, go Mariners. Thank you, Jen. Lists are amazing. You just need to go back to them. That's the key. Yeah, the best way to start a list is a physical list. I'll tell you that right now. Don't put one on your tablet. Don't put one on your computer. Don't put one on your phone. Don't use that, because if you're not the kind of person that's going to get in there and get on the calendar and schedule meetings and schedule time to do certain things, you're probably not going to remember to go back in there and do anything that has to do with your list. I'm going to bring this back on. Here you go.
You will never be free if you're always worrying about other people's opinions. You need to develop the courage to be disliked. You won't be everyone's cup of tea, and that's perfectly okay. So stop wasting your energy trying to tiptoe around other people's wants and needs so that you will be accepted. Otherwise, it's just like Jim Carrey said, your need for acceptance can make you invisible in this world, and you don't want to be invisible. You will never
Don't want to be invisible in this world, right? Whoops. Have to keep a list of some sort on my phone or I will forget way too easily. Well, that's the thing though, too, is like it's once you start doing those lists, like I have my Samsung notes and I have my my list, right? In my notes. Like I have like so just to give you an idea, these are my lists that I have on my phone, and these are the things that I use for everything, right? So like just to give you an idea, like I have my passwords. There's my list of passwords, right? In case I need something. But I have my podcast for different nights of the week. I have a list of to do. I have a list of grocery. I have a list, one called Patrick, because on the 1st of November, Patrick McCormick is going to be doing some filming out in Astoria, and Daryl and I are going to be a part of it. So I have the list of the structure of what the day is going to look like. I have one from Nintendo Power. It's a list of all the ones I have and all the ones I need still. I have, my gosh, I have a list of quotes. I have a list of like all kinds of random shit. Oh my gosh, I have too many fucking lists, I think, for those things I have to do, the things I want to do, whatever. For me, I lost a lot of my organization when I moved back in with my folks temporarily. I have a lot of downsizing to do still. I have a lot in boxes. It makes it everyday task harder for me having to unclutter. For me not having my own space, a cluttered space, cluttered mind. I have so many to-do lists. I overwhelmed myself and I fell into depression, realizing getting a small storage unit to help me have space to sort through what I need and what is there more after this? What I think it helped me. Let's see. I live month to month on my income. Well, here's the other thing too. Like I think there's a lot to say in there in what you just did. You just made us a list. You just made us a list by trying to explain to us, right? You just said, I lost a lot of my organization when I moved back in with my folks temporarily. Okay. Do you still live with your folks? Yes or no? So if you lost the organization and you're ready to start it now, then check that off the list. You have a lot of downsizing to do still. Then put on the things that you need to downsize. You need to sell. You have too many of these things you need to sell. You have some stuff that you're not going to try to sell. It's garbage. Throw it in the garbage, right? You got some other things you want to give them away. Give them away. Makes everyday tasks harder for me not having my own space. Then downsize your space and build it back up or create more space. get enough extra cash to get a storage unit, right? You put your shit in I had that. I had a storage unit that had well, I still do, but it was like my own little separate space that I could put these things that I had that I could go to. I could sell things, I could collect things, and it was just organized. It was my little space that I had, but I didn't have that space when you live with like a roommate situation and whatnot. And then just make sure you unclutter that. Unclutter your room, unclutter your laundry, unclutter your bed, your living space, whatever it is. Oh yeah, and you did say realize and get a small storage unit to help me save the space. Yep. And then the month to month on the income. Look at it this way. There's things that you can do living at home on a small level. I tell people all the time, buy and sell things from Facebook Marketplace. Look into going on to go to Goodwill, Value Village. Go buy specialty mugs, cups, and then promote those by selling those online. You live in Astoria. Find some Goonie mugs down there at the friggin' antique shops or go places. You find them for like $1 or 50 cents and you sell them for like $15, $20 online. Good way to make some extra cash. You put me to shame. What was that for? Was that for the comment above? Oh, no, you're talking about my phone. Oh, shoot. Yeah, that's when that was. Your phone looks like my one. Yeah, mine's the Samsung, the S24 5 something. I don't know. Yeah, that's it's funny, my list. Yeah, I didn't think it was that bad until I started like actually looking at it, right? Yeah. Not that many. I don't know. Yeah, Irie, marketplace is freaking awesome to get rid of things you no longer need. People will buy a turd if it's polished just right. It's very true. Right. See, look at that. See, and that's the other thing too, is you can find some good deals by looking online and do that due diligence. That'll also get you out of your head, but that'll also get you the ability to you buy like 4 or 5 totes. You put them in a storage unit. You have them open, right? You visit the storage unit, you dump stuff off. You take some pictures. And you go post them online. And when somebody wants to buy something, you go to the storage unit, you go get it out, and you hand it to them or whatever you need to do. The endless lists, I know, right? I have other ones that are in there. Here, I got other things that are in there that are actually pretty good too. So like what is this? I got one. Here's a quote. All right. Let's see. Hold on. Where does it start? Let's see. How about this? Be like bees. Bees don't explain to flies why honey is better than shit. Just remember that next time someone is trying to talk you out of your dreams. So be like bees. You have a purpose to fulfill. People will talk about you, criticize you, they'll pull you down, but do not stop until you've reached your destination. Moreover, in the end, bees throw out their own shit for the flies to feed on. Yeah. You owe no one an explanation for your goals, hustles, struggles, except yourself. Trying to explain yourself to someone that doesn't care is a waste of time and energy. Do what you got to do, even if people think you're crazy. At the end, you'll be accountable to yourself alone. Work in silence and let your success speak for itself. No matter what you do, people will always find something bad to talk about you. Turn off the noise. Focus on your goals and grind until you reach them. You can't change others, but you can change yourself, which will act as a catalyst for change in the lives of other people around you. Don't convince people about something. If they have a small mind, they can't absorb more value. Just leave it to them and move on. Don't waste your time with explanations. People only hear what they want to hear. A bee's focus and their values are the ones that differentiate it from the fly. So be like bees. Anyway, I don't know where I got that from a while ago. That's dated like 4 years ago. So what's up, Roger? How you doing, bud? So be like bees, right? I kind of want to read that again. Maybe I'll read that again in a little bit if anybody wants to hear that quote again. I can read it a little bit better now that I reread through it again. If you're on Pinterest, I can send my trust me, I'm on Pinterest. I am. What am I on Pinterest? I don't even know what my name is on Pinterest. I got so many damn names. Hold on. Here, Whitney, if you want to find me on there, here. See if I'll pull this up and see if it. Hold on. There you go. That's me on Pinterest. ADHD superhero 99. Roger, what up, Dodge? That's a T-shirt about the bees. I have to tell Siri to remind me to go to my lists. That's pretty funny though. I've been making money off people's nostalgia for a long time. Nostalgia always sells. Very true. When you wake up and feel mentally heavy, what do you do or say to yourself to get out of that heaviness? I remind myself that I woke up and that there's a lot of people that didn't get that opportunity. And then things feel just a little bit lighter. Maybe not fully, but just a little bit. I haven't found a good list app on the iPhone. What's the problem? You got an iPhone. I love the color note app for my Droid. I got like 4 different little organizational things that I have on there that I just downloaded. Damn right it does. Yes, nostalgia sells. Okay. I kind of like that. I'll come back to the bees again. If anybody wants to hear the bees quote again, then let me know. But I got a couple more on here I can say. Here's a good one, right? Here's a good one. I think Bruce Lee. The same boiling water that no, this might be somebody different. It could be Bruce Lee. The same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. It's about what you are made of, not the circumstances. Right? How about that? The same boiling water that softens the potato hardens the egg. It's about what you are made of, not the circumstances. There you go. And there you go, Jake. Yeah, don't think about any of the negatives, right? Don't think about your father's father who killed themselves, suffering of alcoholism. I mean, there's so many things in this world, that we look back on in the lives. I think a lot of the negativity that we have that's in our past aren't things that we should dwell on, but they're the things we should learn from. I had people in my family that did drugs. I had people in my family that were alcoholics. I think when you're younger, you either choose, do you want to be like them or do you not want to be like them? And if you choose to be like them, that's what it is. I think it's funny when people do blame their past, though, for the way they are today, till they start to hear about where my past came from. And then it's a little bit harder to justify that. It's a choice. People are who they want to be. I have a saying. I woke up on this side of the dirt today. Just have to keep telling myself that. That's true, right? At least you're above ground, right? I do utilize Facebook Marketplace for reselling some of my things, like some furniture, clothing, tools. Soon I'm going to downsize musical instruments, a few guitars, amps, a couple DJ things. Now that I don't have an extra office, I need to downsize a spare printer and photo printer. Now that I have a new photo printer. Yep. I mean, you could list this stuff off for days on here and literally take that time and put it on Marketplace. If you don't want it, if it's not something that you want, then get rid of it. I mean, it's a lot easier. I mean, you can always get it back, right? Like collection stuff, I understand because I have some good collection type stuff, right? Nostalgia. But I've gotten rid of some stuff and then got it back later. I bought 3 arcade machines that I own right now that I sold like 10 years ago and I ended up getting them back years later. So it's just things like that. You never know. So roll call. What's everybody's birthday? And if you don't want to tell me your birthday, because you don't want people to know how old you are, tell me your weight. Just joking. Neither here nor there for any of them. Ooh, this is a good one. This is a long one though. think you guys want to hear me talking a long quote. What about this one? Life quote. What I have in here. Our lives are not determined by what happens to us, but by how we react to what happens. Not by what life brings to us, but by the attitude we bring to life. A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst, a spark that creates extraordinary results. I'm going to read that again, but I'm going to do a little bit better while you guys give me your guys's your ages. Our lives are not determined by what happens to us, but how we react to what happens. Not by what life brings to us, but by the attitude we bring to life. A positive attitude causes a chain reaction of positive thoughts, events, and outcomes. It is a catalyst, a spark that creates extraordinary results. It's pretty good. I like that one. What do we got, Brandon? 911 81 911. Okay. 81. Let's see. Oh, 85, Roger. I think you're oh, we had Amber up there. Hold on. I'm gonna scroll back up. Whitney is 7/18, 78. July 18th, 1978. March 22nd, 1984. September 9th, 1985. January 21st, 1980. And September 11th, 1981. And March 4th, 1985. Trace. you actually put that in there too, huh? Wait a minute. Is that August of 1975? August what? What's the day? 226 as of this morning, which you're down. Weren't you like over 300 pounds, Trace? Or right around 300 pounds, I guess, before you lost the weight? Becky is August 27th, 1979. July 30th, 1989, 232 pounds. Brad Tyndall is tuning in. What is up, my brother? How are you doing, Brad? Can we go through the social security numbers also? Right? What is up, Brad? Jeremy is, you just recently. Hey, Jade. Can you come out here for just one sec? Literally just one sec. Judith, how are you doing, Judith? And you were at 297, Trace. That's where, okay. Yeah, so you've lost like over 70 pounds, right? January 18th, 1977. Just doing a quick roll call, everybody, to see what everybody's ages are. And if they wanted to, they could add their weight or do opposite. I was going to get a hug from you, but I was also going to see if you could switch over the laundry for me. I am on if you want to say hi real quick. Come say hi. Come say hi. Not with anybody. Not just me. Say hi here. Say hi to Judith for me. Say hi, Judith.
Hi, Judy. That's how I imagine your voice is gonna sound.
It doesn't sound like that.
Well, the name Judith just reminds me.
Oh,
of something
gotcha.
like that.
Well, give me a hug. Can you switch over the laundry?
Yeah.
Okay. Love you. Thank you.
That was clean.
That was clean. That was a good back smack. Thank you, daughter. Oh, and thank you for that too. I know you were going to grab that for me. Thank you for doing the dishes and the laundry. You're the best. Let's see. Your storage can be holding a young person's ticket to happiness. A guitar or printer could help one young person to achieve something enough to get out of the ghetto. Post that stuff quick. Make a goal for the end of the year. Go. You feel so good. That's true. It's so true. Good. Now I am not the oldest. Okay. Who is it? Jessica? Did Jessica beat you out? 77. Or no, not 70. Jessica was 77. Trace was 75, right? I think Trace is the oldest one that's in here. I hit my lowest of lows. I realized life is short and goes by fast. Might as well work hard. chase all of your dreams. We're all going to be dead soon enough anyway. Might as well. Very true. That is very true. Oh man, Judith, she gave me an emoji that doesn't show up. I think can't remember which one it was. Oh, Patrick at the 1970 marker from May 25th, 1970. Let's see. Is that July 2nd, 69? Oh, we got 1960s for Linda. Beat out Patrick's 1970. Judith coming in, winning it all. August 1st. Or no, wait, August 18th. Sorry, I saw the one. 1957. Judith wins. Hands down. Yep. What's up, Jessica? Glad you're doing good. Or I hope you're doing good as well. No, I am the oldest. Someone on here called me Grumpy Grandpa. You're not grumpy, Brad. You just have you have RGF. I had to think about that. You have RGF, resting grumpy face. RGF. Judith was born in 1977. If we're going off of looks. Let's see, Linda, I agree. I have also donated similar items to friends and their kids when I know that they can really use those items, especially towards their small businesses and our schooling stuff. Nah, you're good. I tried to read through those. Thank you for the roll call, you guys. Thank you for the birthday roll call. If somebody has a different roll call, let me know. Brad is always good for a good roll call too. I'll get this ready to go. So that way I can put a new roll call on there. Nah, I graduated in 1975, Judah said. Oh, that's funny. I had another one that was on here too, but I can't remember. Oh, here, this one. Let's see. I put this on here because somebody sent this to me about how the way that they feel. I'm way too high to be watching this. Possibly, or not high enough, right? She graduated the year you were born, Trace. Let's see here. Hold on one sec. Let me do this really quick. Hold on a second. Oh, let me do this. Really quick. Somebody asked me like the other day, and I now that you guys were talking about lists, right? So what did I do? Look at my list. Somebody asked me what it's like to have like really bad like anxiety. They were asking me like what I thought, not like that they thought that I had anxiety or anything. They were just asking me because they thought they had a panic attack or something, and so they were kind of going through some stuff. It just work, just cavalier conversation, and I couldn't remember this, but now that I'm reading it on my phone, I was like, this would have been a great response, right? Says having anxiety and depression is like being scared and tired at the same time. It's the fear of failure, but no urge to be productive. It's wanting friends, but hating to socialize. It's wanting to be alone, but not wanting to be lonely. It's feeling everything at once, then feeling paralyzing and numb. Sorry, then feeling paralyzingly numb. Thought that was pretty good, right? I don't know where I found that, but I have it under one of my lists of quotes on anxiety, and it's the only one on there. So obviously you could see where I was going with this. There was supposed to be more. But anyway, yes, that's a good one. That was one I wish I would have remembered. Oh, look at that! I got a list of recipes that I have that I made. Pretty good. What do we got here? Roll call. First gaming system, like mine would be the Game Boy. Maybe that's Thursday roll. No, we can do that. Here, let me put it up on the banner here. I'll just edit it. Let's see. Roll call. First First video game system you owned? No. Yeah. Okay, there we go. We'll just do that. First video game system that you owned? Huh? And maybe favorite game or something? I don't know. We'll do something different. Perfect description. I don't have much anxiety, but those I love do, right? I know that was it was kind of a heavy way to think about it. Because it's very true when you think of it in both levels of that anxiety and depression. Having anxiety and depression is like being scared and tired at the same time. It's the fear of failure, but no urge to be productive. It's wanting friends, but hating to socialize. It's wanting to be alone, but not wanting to be lonely. It's feeling everything at once and then feeling paralyzingly numb. There was another one that I had in here as well, which is also, I believe, is a Bruce Lee quote as well, which is actually, no, I'll read the other one. The other one I know is a Bruce Lee quote. This one is one that I've read daily for quite a while because I need to remember how to do this, and I don't do this very often. Don't speak negatively about yourself, even as a joke. Your body doesn't know the difference. Words are energy and they cast spells. That's why it's called spelling. Change the way you speak about yourself, and you can change your life. Think of it that way, right? Thought that was pretty creative. Atari. Whitney's first is an Atari. Amber is an Atari. This seems too superficial rather than dealing with real issues. Plenty of platforms if you'd like to go elsewhere and deal with those real issues that you're talking about there. Atari 2600. Allie, how you doing? Roll call sent. Thank you, Brad. Oh, perfect. I'm going to do that one after everybody's done with the game one, too. We'll do that one for the next round. It's important to understand when you're friends with those who cope with it. It's very true. So just to give you guys a little heads up about this podcast, because I think some people are getting the wrong idea about what this actually is, considering this is something that I created and I do. So let me reiterate what I said in the very, very beginning before I get any more messages on the side. In the very beginning on the Warrior Health podcast, the reason why I started this was to be supportive and helpful for those that were struggling dealing with things on a day-to-day basis. Everybody has a past. Everybody comes from a past. Everybody has negative things that happen in their past. If we go down that negative road and we do that daily, we do that on every single thing that we have that's in our past. Let's say we start from age 1 through 5, and then we go 5 to 10, and we do all these different things. That is going to be a very negative way of thinking because we're going backwards, right? We're not dealing with those things day to day. If something happened in your past, leave it in your past. If you can't leave it in your past, then get therapy, because I am not a therapist. I don't get paid to do this. Somebody wants to pay me to listen, I'll do that, definitely. But if somebody also wants, until somebody starts paying me for my podcast, you don't really get to tell me how to do my podcast. Okay. So for those that decide that they want to push me in a direction that they think I should go when it comes to the podcast stuff, I'm gonna think for myself and say, no, you can go elsewhere. Nobody's forcing you to watch this, and nobody's forcing you to listen. Okay. So I'm gonna get that right out of the way before I finish this roll call up. We have a Super Nintendo, Super Mario World, Zelda, Donkey Kong, 007. Those are the classics right there. Classics for like me, growing up with those friends and stuff like that you owned. Yep. Atari 15. Oh, nice, Brad. Nintendo. NES for Renan as well. Got my Graham's old Sony Tube TV set up with it. Sony Tube TV? Oh my gosh. That's are you talking about like the spacey looking one, the round one? I can't remember. Maybe it's just a Sony, just a tube TV, just an old tube TV. I was trying to think of which one that one that remember that old one that looked like it was like a space helmet? Those ones were pretty good. Super Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong. Yeah. I'm loving the nostalgia. I'm loving the motivation to feel better. Oh, hey, hold on one second. Oh my gosh. There's Becky. How you doing, Becky?
Hey, I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
I can. I can. Hold
Perfect.
on one sec. Let me see if I got this other one here. There's one. Nope. Nope. That makes me too big. There we go. Let's do that. What about this one? Oh, there we go.
Perfect.
Trying to widen it a little bit more. How you
Nice.
doing? How you doing, Becky?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Today's a good day.
I'm glad. What'd
Yeah.
you do today?
You know what? I worked, but I made it a good day. It was good. It was good. I have to
Yeah.
tell you, Dustin, I think doing this mental health podcast is so amazing. I think that just for people to have the support and to have that safe place to be able to discuss things that are, that they wouldn't normally discuss, whether it be with family or friends, sometimes just talking with people, um, outside of those circles, you can freely talk about the things that are upsetting you or troubling you. And I love seeing that everybody, participates, and, it's a needed topic. It's a needed
Mhm.
topic.
Well, I think.
Everybody.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that everybody, suffers from some sort of, and I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people suffer from some sort of like anxiety, depression, and to be able to talk to people, about tools, um, how to, relieve some of those stresses, that's huge. And it makes you feel not alone. I've discussed, my husband, he's, going through some PTSD, and to be able to communicate with people that are going through the same thing is huge. Is
Mhm.
huge. Again, it just makes you feel not alone.
Well, I appreciate that very much just because that was one of those main reasons, and the reason, for
Yeah,
wanting to start something like this to give people that platform to be able to talk about that day-to-day stuff. What's that
yeah,
daily struggle type of stuff, like everybody's got a past and everybody comes from a past and everybody has
100%.
things that they're battling and they're doing, but
Yeah,
that's a therapy thing. That's why there's
absolutely.
therapists out there. I don't claim to be one of those, right? So they gotta go find one.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
this being a platform to be able
Mhm.
to come on and talk. I just saw I'm checking out the chat and things like that, um, trying to figure out how things kind of move through our day to day and people's minds,
Yeah,
and everybody's different, right?
yeah.
So we get on here, we talk, and I kind of noticed a couple things in here too. Roger talking about the roll call, the last movie you watched at the cinema, right? And I know that Brad sent me one as well too. And there's a couple things that are in there. And
Yeah,
Jake, I know that you're in here, and I know that you're throwing out the suicide, and you're throwing out what happened with your dad, and shit like that.
and
It sucks. It's a powerful thing
he-
that happened in your past. I mean, I lost my sister, and other people had their things, but
yeah,
um, to be able to come through here as well
yeah,
as then say something like this, I think is a little different. You're not getting the idea of what this is about.
yeah,
The games
absolutely.
was a roll call. It's a way to make people smile. And if people can't focus their energy on the positive side and you want to focus on a negative type of thing, this isn't the podcast for you. This is not the way that it is. It's a positive, safe place for people to be in here, and nobody needs to point fingers and talking about the things that they do or don't want to talk about.
Yeah,
So the way that we do things in here and the way that we talk about things in here is because it's the daily struggle that we're all dealing with, right?
100%.
You came from your past, Becky. You have your parents,
Yeah,
then Virgil, and then Virgil has the things that he deals with and stuff on that level, and then that becomes part of your world as well because you guys are married,
100%.
right? um
Absolutely.
my kids feel my past on a day-to-day basis from the things that I feel and I go through in my life. So they're going to feel those things. But if they look at me and they're asking me about that and I'm focusing my energy on that
Yeah,
past, I'm going to be stuck in that, right? The past is done.
absolutely.
Worrying about the future isn't here. And all we
Yeah,
can live in is right now and today.
yeah.
Right.
You
So,
never forget the things that have happened in your past. Um, you'll never forget it. With that
mhm.
being said, I can't live it every day. And don't get me wrong, because there's some days I think about it. Um, but like I discussed with you, my mother was an alcoholic, and I love her dearly. The things that my mom said and did. But again, I love her very much. And do I forgive her? 100% I forgive her.
Mhm.
Will I forget? No, of course not. So these are things that I have to work on, that I have to, and I do, with a therapist. These are things that I have to pick up the pieces that, you know, of me that were broken and put it back together. But as long as we keep moving forward and learn from those mistakes that were made, um, too many times you see people go through, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and sometimes the kids will follow the same steps. I knew that is not what I wanted from me and my children. So I did the complete opposite. And and not to say that, like I said, I struggle with the memories of things that happen. Um, but again, we're human and that's okay. That's okay as long as we don't live there. And again, with therapy, with things like this, where you could talk to people and communicate, it really helps. It really does help. It's a huge, just to be able to get that off of your chest and to share with people. It's huge.
You you said it right because there isn't a lot of platforms that are out there that you can't that you can be a part of. A lot of the stuff is basically listening, right?
Yeah,
You don't have that ability to be able to talk to people on the podcast, people on the show. You watch a show, like, let me just throw it out there, like a Dr. Phil or something like that, right? And they're
yeah,
talking about some stuff. You don't get to like chime in unless you're at the show, right? You're not, there's no callers and things like that, right?
right,
So I
right.
think that a lot of this stems from, people's inability to have a platform to be able to talk about these current things that they're dealing with.
Absolutely. And
Um, you, go.
no, I was just gonna say, you know, I there are so many people dealing with the same thing. I don't think we have any idea the magnitude of what is happening in this world with mental health. You know, um, Man, things as like even a panic attack, like you were discussing, anxiety attacks. Those are real. It's real. It interferes with your work, it interferes with social life. It can put things into your head, false things that like we're saying, okay, do people like me? Do they not like me? Things that, sometimes are completely false. Everybody could love you, but for whatever reason, that anxiety gets in here, that those those thoughts get in here and kind of ruin it for you. You know what I'm saying? And put that doubt in us. Um, and I think living with, and I'll just speak for myself, especially within the last couple years with dealing with my husband's PTSD, my own anxiety. Like there's times where I don't even want to go to the store. I'm like, I don't want to be around people. I just want to stay home. You know, these are the things that, we live with, and it's hard. And, there's some days where I'm stronger than others and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to overcome it. I'm going to go visit friends today. I'm going to go to lunch with a friend. And then there's days where I just feel like, you know what? I'm just shutting myself in the house today. Gonna put on some, 80s movies and just shut myself, away from the world.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's okay to have those days every now and then, as long as we don't live there again.
Treat it like a
You know,
vacation, right? Like,
it's okay to give
when you go on
ourselves
vacation, you don't just leave, go on vacation, then never move back home, take care of your family, go back to work, do your thing, right? You
yeah,
you you use that for that moment that you need, that
for
vacation,
rest,
right? That weekend. Sometimes when you
rest.
have that day, like you
Yeah,
said, live in that day, live in that moment, live in that shitty,
allow
fucking horrible
yourself.
shit, and then pull yourself out and be like,
Yeah,
it's time to get back to normal, right?
absolutely, absolutely. And the one thing,
Cool. Brad says, on a good note, looks like you have lost some weight since the last time I saw you on here.
thank you so much, Brad. Oh my God, I appreciate that. You know what? I haven't weighed myself lately, but I will. I'm super excited. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, it's hard work. I love food. I
Oh,
really love food.
here you go, Allie. Or here you go, Becky from Allie. My mom has always told me a quote: "Yesterday is history, tomorrow's a mystery, but today is a gift." That's why I call it the present.
I love it. I love it, Ali.
Right?
It's true. It's true. And you know what? The one thing that I always, if I have a hard time, especially like on my days off, and I'm like, you know what? Just not feeling very motivated today. I'm not feeling it. The one thing that I do is I make sure that I get up in the morning, take a shower, brush your teeth, and at least start your day like that. Because
Mhm.
once you do that, I don't know about you. I'm just going to speak for myself. I'm like, okay, I'm a functioning human being. Like I can, okay, let's go take care of those groceries that we need to go, take care of. Let's go for a drive. And that's
Mhm.
my other thing. I love just going for drives and sometimes just by myself. I will put on some music and head out west town and go out into the country and just take a country back road and just just kind of get lost in your own thoughts and look at the scenery. It's a very therapeutic thing. So finding things like that kind of bring you happiness, um it's super important. But yes, first thing is take a shower in the morning, brush your teeth, at least get your day started like that. And
Right.
that's just one thing
And
that kind of helps me.
like I said too, like the whole making your bed thing was from
Yeah.
I can probably find it. There's a really good commencement speech. I'm not sure if anybody has actually seen it, but let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Here it is. Wow, that came up very fast too. This is it's rather long on this one point, but this this one part of it. Let's see if I here it is.
Up,
Here it is. This is actually
up.
pretty good. Let me theater. I'm gonna go theater mode on this and see how this looks when I bring it up on the screen.
Okay.
It's weird trying to figure out the different ways that you can pull things up on the screen, right? Here we go. Share screen. And there we go. Nothing.
If you want to change the world, start off by making your bed. If you make your bed every morning, you will have accomplished the first task of the day. It will give you a small sense of pride, and it will encourage you to do another task, and another, and another. And by the end of the day, that one task completed will have turned into many tasks completed. Making your bed will also reinforce the fact that the little things in life matter. If you can't do the little things right, you'll never be able to do the big things right. And if by chance you have a miserable day, you will come home to a bed that is made, that you made. And a made bed gives you encouragement that tomorrow will be better. To pass SEAL training, there are a series of long swims that must be completed. One is the night swim. Before the swim, the instructors joyfully brief the students on all the species of sharks that inhabit the waters off San Clemente. They assure you, however, that no student has ever been eaten by a shark, at least not that they can remember. But you are also taught that if a shark begins to circle your position, stand your ground. Do not swim away. Do not act afraid. And if the shark hungry for a midnight snack, darts towards you, then summons up all your strength and punch him in the snout, and he will turn and swim away. There are a lot of sharks in the world. If you hope to complete the swim, you will have to deal with them. So if you want to change the world, don't back down from the sharks. Over a few weeks of difficult training, my SEAL class, which started with 150 men, was down to just 42. There were now 6 boat crews of 7 men each. I was in the boat with the tall guys, but the best boat crew we had was made up of the little guys, the Munchkin crew, we called them. No one was over 5'5". The Munchkin boat crew had 1 American Indian, 1 African American, 1 Polish American, 1 Greek American, 1 Italian American, and 2 tough kids from the Midwest. They out-paddled, outran, and outswam all the other boat crews. The big men in the other boat crews would always make good-natured fun of the tiny little flippers the Munchkins put on their tiny little feet prior to every swim. But somehow these little guys from every corner of the nation and the world always had the last laugh, swimming faster than everyone and reaching the shore long before the rest of us. SEAL training was a great equalizer. Nothing mattered but your will to succeed, not your color, not your ethnic background, not your education, not your social status. If you want to change the world, measure a person by the size of their heart, not by the size of their flippers. The 9th week of training is referred to as Hell Week. It is 6 days of no skin forced.
I think that it goes on for a little bit more, and there's some other good parts to it too. So I encourage people to watch that. If you just put in Admiral William, or if you put in "Change Your Bed" commencement speech, and he did this in front of a college and stuff, and it was just inspiring to think of how those little things can affect your every day-to-day life, the things that you deal with, right? But then also how we are affected by the things that we do in comparison to, the little people in life, right? Like what really matters and stuff, and how you can change the world and how you can change your life. It isn't because you're rich. It isn't because you're taller or shorter or smarter or stronger or whatever it is. It's just, what is your will, right? I remember this from earlier. I'm going to go back to this because she said, great explanation, Becky. This is when you were explaining earlier.
Thank you, Stephanie.
And Whitney, I know that this is, so if people are talking about this kind of stuff, I get it. I think for some people, not having to deal with the death, the suicide, etc., for a couple hours as their therapy and makes their mental health better by laughing or listening to others that take their mind off the negative. I feel like this can be a positive too. I respect what you're asking for too, though, and that's what I think it comes to right here. Mental health isn't video games or Goonies, but it is, because the video games is our way that we reflect by showing one another that we are here. We are present, right? That is it. What was the first video game console as a roll call? The roll call is who is in here, because we can't see. So we want to see who's in here. And also the Goonies is, if you are part of that, then you understand. If you're not a part of that, then it just becomes a movie. But to everybody dealing with something in their life, they have to have some sort of structure, friend base, family base, and there isn't a bigger one that I have found than the Goonies community when it comes to things.
100%.
And anybody that is a part of it either concurs, and if you're not a part of it, you don't know. So that's the only two. There's only two. You're not a part of it, and then you want to get away from it ever. You just want to be a part of it for the rest of your life. I don't know anybody that's been like, man, it was so great to be there for the 40th. It's so great to be a part of this group, to do this, to do that. But hey, it's not for me. That's not, I've never heard anybody say that. And it is a positive reinforcement to our day to day. A lot of those things, right?
And the support, the support that I've gotten from people, again, that I have only met, since June, wow, has been amazing. Some friendships that I've built. But, if you think about, the group of kids, coming together and going on this adventure together and, dealing with their dark moments that they had, but they were there for each other. So the Goonies really does have a lot to do. It's building a community. It's building friendships and being there for each other. I think that's I mean, if it wasn't for that, this wouldn't be happening right now. How amazing is that?
Oh
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
100%. I would have never got started if it wasn't for if I didn't show up for the Goonies 40th. I mean, none of these podcasts, the friendships, the things that you got to think like to me. You ever seen when those people do those domino things and they knock
Yes.
over like 3 or 4 of those little dominoes and then they turn
Uh-huh.
sideways because they're not big enough to like keep it going? It always takes that
Absolutely.
one big domino to fall just right to knock them all down, right? I like
Absolutely.
to think I'm the big fucking domino in this situation, right? And when I fall over, it just affects if like a pool, right? Everybody's gonna get
Absolutely.
hit by my waves. I guarantee you that, right? And I
Well,
think that
no, go ahead.
no, go you go.
No, I was just going to say, I think, and this is how I have to look at things. Things happen for a reason, good and bad.
Mhm.
And, the bad we take away and we learn from it. The good, um, we share it with other people, you know. So yeah, I mean, I think things happen for a reason, with this podcast, I'm hoping that, my goodness, if it touches at least one person, that's everything, but that's a domino effect. And then the next person can also discuss it with somebody else who needs it. You
Mhm.
know, that's what it's all about is just being there for each other, and giving that information. And it may not, pertain to one person, but it could completely, this other person may be like, you know what, I needed to hear that today. That's huge. That's huge.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, if it makes a difference in one person's life, my gosh, that's everything. That's
Right?
huge. So,
Oh, yeah, oh my god, I love this video, right? I know this is a good that was
oh,
a good video. That was definitely a good video.
yeah, that was a good video.
I'm a little bit further back. Let's see. Can't we make it whatever we want it to be? I thought it was great therapy for me to talk and laugh with you on the podcast. What works for me may not be for everybody. However, it was positive for my mental health.
Yes.
I think the mental health aspect too is oh yeah, let's see, same with us. Great video.
Awesome.
I make our bed every morning. Hey, ever heard this one? Change your
Nice.
morning routine even slightly. Open curtains before making coffee or make
I
coffee
love
before opening
that.
the curtains and your life will shift. Go Sharks.
Awesome.
I think that is, yeah.
Mhm. And you
Let's
know
see.
what? I think having I think having a good personality. Let me tell you, my father went through a lot with my mother. And that man can still laugh about things. He can still make jokes. Sometimes we even laugh about the things that have happened in the past. And I think to myself, I absolutely love this man. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
An amazing person to go through such it such horrible situation and to come out of it still smiling, still laughing. And I think sometimes you have to do things like that. You have to. And everybody does it in a different ways. I'm not saying that's for everybody, but for me, for my dad, seeing him kind of joke around and stuff, you know what? It made it a little easier for me, as well. So,
Um,
what works for one person may not work for the other, and and vice versa.
yeah, exactly, right? And that's just the other thing too is um I think that the misinterpretation of what like this is a mental health awareness, right? We want to be aware of things, but we also don't want to get stuck in those holes, right? Like I can go
Mhm.
down rabbit holes for days about my past, but there's a reason why we live here in this time. We don't
Yeah.
live in the past and we don't live in the future when it comes to things, right? I don't know what's going to happen, and I know I worry about the unknown when it comes to things just like anybody does, but I'm focusing my energy on
Yeah.
trying not to focus that energy on the worrying, because what is it, like it's like 85 to 90% of the things that you worry about in the future don't actually happen, like don't happen.
Yeah.
So that means you're basically like almost 100% you're getting shit wrong. If you're worried about it,
Yeah.
it's more than likely not going to fucking happen, right? and
Absolutely.
and I think it goes down that rabbit hole too many times, where thank you for the video clip. Got to go inside dark now on Goonie Street. Got to hang out with John.
Yeah.
Have fun, Judith. Have fun.
Nice. Good night, Judith.
Yeah, but I think that is one of those things to where like we want to be in a better mood. So if
Yeah.
somebody comes to talk to me and they go, "Hey, I'm struggling right now. I have all these things that I went through like in my youth." I'm gonna be the advocate. I usually am the first person to stop and just say, who are you today? Like,
Yeah.
tell me who you are right now and what you're dealing with right now. Because if anybody wants to go down the fucking road of the past, I guarantee you, you're not going to get any sympathy from me, and you're not going to be able to blame your parents in front of me. You're not going to be able to blame your childhood in front of me, because I'll look at you and I'll say, I am the complete opposite of what
Exactly.
like the entire world forced me to have to
Yeah.
become. Like the world pushed me into a level of, you got to go kill yourself. You got to go kill somebody else. You got to get addicted to
Right.
drugs. You have to go down this road. You have to do this and this and this. Why? Because that is the expectation of everything I dealt with. And what I had to grow up as was like, you have to go this way. And I was like, I'm not going to be that person. I'm not going to go down that road. I don't have to
Right.
be like all these other people. I don't have to excuse it by saying I was raised this way. No, fuck you.
Exactly.
Everybody's raised a certain way. And you know what?
Absolutely.
However you're raised, you still have your own mind, and you still get a choice later on to change yourself and do. Why are there success stories about billionaires that are literally came from the slums, and they fought for what they wanted? That wasn't because and they didn't. If you can't
They made a
blame,
choice.
right? Exactly. If you can blame your success on your youth, right? At the same time, then you can blame the negative. But you
Yeah.
have to blame the positive when it happens. That means every positive thing that happens to you, you have to be able to then blame that as well, right? I think
Yeah.
that's such a huge misconception that you have a negative and a positive, and you're only allowed to blame the negative and use that as an example of why you can't be
Yeah.
positive. No, like you got to go down that road. Yeah, if you're going to go down that road,
Mhm.
they're all in the same hand. Negative and the positive are there, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So
Take away from the negative. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Do something good with it. Help other people that have, gone through the same exact thing.
mhm,
Again, I think there's a reason why things happen the way that they do. And we have a choice, to either follow the same path or to go down a different one.
mhm,
And, and again, that's a choice that we have. But I think, again, when we take away something positive out of something so traumatic, my gosh, and not to say you're not going to have, depression, anxiety, but that's where you use the tools. You know what? A therapist, psychiatrist, medication, whatever it is that helps, a podcast, talking to a friend or a coworker, man, utilize whatever tools you have and what makes you comfortable, you know. And I have, I mean, I've had moments where I've kind of, dwelled on the past a little longer than what I should have. And it was like, okay, you know what? You need to talk to somebody. And it really helped. It helped because I had to hear it from somebody else, and I had to look at it a different way than how I was looking at it. So, my gosh, to have those tools out there, take advantage of them, use them. They're there for you, you know. But honestly, I think just being able to confide in people, and
mhm.
again, having a safe place like this to be able to talk about things, that's everything. That it makes a huge difference.
I'm trying to.
So,
I'm at the bottom of the list here. Let's see.
Dustin, can you hear me okay? Because like the
Yep.
volume is like, okay, I can barely hear, but I don't know if it's my phone.
I'm going to, let's see, what do we got going on here in the chat? Things don't need to happen. If someone was there and someone was real, more people wouldn't suffer.
Things don't need to happen.
Not always the case. It was there for my friend, and he still got a lot of. Okay, so there's maybe more of a conversation going on up there, but
Oh.
my thing skipped down to the bottom, and I don't know where the hell I left off at now. Let's
Oh
see. So
no.
I'm going to current. I had to learn what happened to me when I was 16. I have my moments here and there, but I have to look at the present now and know that there will
Right,
never happen to
Ollie.
me again. Well, here's the
Yeah.
great thing about this too. What we got? Wait, easier said than done. It's easy for someone who doesn't understand to say work through it. Yep. You're coming in just right, Becky. Yeah,
Thank
I
you,
could hear you just
Brad.
fine. Yeah. What is this? Let's see. Emily says, I do think it's bigger than choice, to be frank. And whilst nurture and trauma and biology all have a part too, I agree some people are able to better themselves without good supports, resources, strategies offered to them. But there are some people that cannot access any support at all.
Right.
International, trauma and poverty and poor
Sure.
nurturing can make it almost impossible for them. Not,
Yeah.
right. Yep, exactly. And
Yeah.
that's just the thing too is being like some people said earlier too in this, and I think it's hard because some people don't realize where this podcast started and why it started. And it started because there was one night a week that was going to be dedicated to a Goonies night. It was just going to be a Goonies podcast.
Yeah.
And that stretched into, okay, Daryl and I want to do some throwback Thursdays, right? Let's have some fun. Let's do some good shit, right?
Hmm.
Then let's go into mental health awareness, right? Which just started with level up your mind.
Yeah.
Wait, it was a positive reinforcement. Let's get in there and tackle this. I had people reaching out to me, and I probably said 4 out of 5 times, talk to a counselor, find a therapist,
Absolutely.
get it through your everything. You can get it through the state, you can get it through you have a means. Everybody has
Yeah.
a means to be able to do that.
Yeah.
And so it was a way to say, hey, take care of yourself, right? It's like this. It's like going to a movie theater to watch a movie that you really want to see, but you can't get out in public because you're dealing with what you're dealing with.
Right.
Then don't go to the fucking movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if that's the catalyst that's going to make you feel anxiety and stuff, then don't go to the movie or just watch something at home. Whatever
Right.
that is for you and how that works, you have to make it work for yourself. This podcast, that's exactly how it works for people. It works as a positive reinforcement.
Absolutely.
I could sit here on an hour every single night of the week for the next 4 or 5 years and talk about shit that people are there. I can relate. I can feel this. This is this
Yeah.
here, this negative, this negative, this negative, this negative, but we overcame it. Maybe we're still working with it. Awesome.
Yeah.
But that structure of how you do that is therapy. And
Mhm.
I am not a therapist. I know. It's so hard to think that I'm not a therapist, but I trust me, I would make the worst therapist ever, right? And I think that's the thing that
Yeah.
we need to realize is that
Absolutely.
this is for that positive reinforcement when somebody wants to get out of their fucking head and think about those things that daily struggle, right?
Yeah.
What do you struggle with on a daily level, Becky? When you wake up in the morning, what's your first struggle? What's the first thing you think of in the morning that you're like, if this happens today, if I feel this way, if this person does this or something, like what is that one? It could be the smallest thing, right? It could be
So
you and your husband, where you're like, I just hope he's
100%.
doing good. I hope he's doing good, and that's your first thought because you see
You
him,
know,
right? Like when you wake up, that's like the
absolutely.
first person you see, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And my job, I've taken a new role at my job. And so when I wake up, there's been some mornings where my chest is so tight. I almost feel like a kid again. Like I almost like, you know what, I want to call in today. I don't think I can do this.
Mhm.
Maybe I should just take a day to myself. And then I'm like, come on, you got to pull through. And there has been times, that I have taken a mental health day. Um, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that as long as it doesn't become a habit, um, but I think that I I think when you are going through such anxiety, such depression, um, the workplace can be a very man, it could be very challenging. It could be
Mhm.
a very challenging place. And I have to say that I'm very lucky because I have coworkers that are very supportive. I'm very lucky in that way. they all know. And the great thing is that I'm not the only one that feels this way at work, and we've all discussed it. So again, having a great support group is so huge, you know. And I think that's what this podcast, is, just to be a support group, and to throw out ideas of what may work for you. And, if it doesn't, um, again, what works for one person may not work for the other, And I know somebody was mentioning suicide. Man, I will tell you guys that my husband worked on the ambulance for close to 25 years and has dealt with many suicide. And what he has to deal with now from seeing what he has seen throughout all the years. And that is something so hard. Um, and these people were very well loved. Some of them were very well loved, but something happens to people. And you can love somebody as much and try to give them as much support. But if something is not going right in here, sometimes no matter what you do, it's just not going to be enough. And that's hard. And that's something hard to live with. I couldn't even imagine. And again, I would have to talk to a therapist to get me through something like that, because I couldn't even imagine. So, as far as, when somebody was talking about suicide, I get that it's not always easy making choices to go down certain roads or to choose to be happy in the morning, that it is a lot harder and a lot deeper than that for some people. Um, but for others, sometimes just making the bed in the morning and getting up and following a routine can really help as well and make a difference, So there's
100%.
many different depths when it comes to anxiety and depression. Um, but if one person can take away one tool and that can help them throughout the day, again, it's worth it. It's worth it. And there's tools that people are sharing that I never even thought of, So it's great getting the feedback from everybody, hearing other people's stories and ideas. So
Oh yeah,
this is
I love.
a pretty great place, Dustin, for everybody to share their feelings and
Well,
and I hope everybody feels the love, because that's what this is all about. It's about
yeah,
loving and supporting everybody.
yeah. It's one of those things where I think the feeling of being consumed by your day-to-day life, by your past, by everything that you have, that kind of comes down to it. It's good to talk about, right? It's good to go
Yes.
down those rabbit holes and to focus your energy on how you can be a better person. But I think that there are deeper levels where um it is it is a Dr. Phil thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is, if you're going to go down those psychological type shit that you're really going, if you're so focused on your past that
Yeah,
that has to be talked about, then you need therapy and counseling, because that's definitely not
absolutely.
for this podcast. This podcast
Yeah,
is it's a, when I said at the beginning, it's an uplifting battle, right? An uplifting battle, warrior health. It says it in the title, warrior health, right? To
yeah,
fight, to fight for the positivity on a day to day struggle that we all have when we wake up in the morning and we feel that energy, and that's what we're
yeah,
trying to change. We're trying to change it. I can talk for days and years and fucking decades
yeah,
about the shit that's happened in my past, and if
yeah.
somebody hasn't heard it, super interesting. If somebody has heard it, super annoying. If you know what I'm saying, like we could, and now you multiply that by 10, 20, 30, a bunch of people, right? You cannot do that. That not only brings down the idea of what I'm trying to create, but that also
Right.
promotes a negativity in that we have to live in the past and go through that. That's not what this podcast is for. But guess what? The cool thing is if anybody wants to, they can start their own podcast and they can talk about all their real problems that they want on their own podcast, and they don't even have to answer to anybody. You're good. You're just like this. You can do your own shit. Like, get a microphone and have at it. Use your phone. Fuck, that works too. But being here, being a part of this group is to feel loved and taken care of by people that
Absolutely.
want to better themselves
Absolutely.
and
Yes.
focus that energy on that, right? And I think that there's such a great crew that we've started from for so long, that it it creates such a family that you feel like when you reach out to that person that normally would be next to you, but it's on a,
Yeah.
like when I reach out to Becky and I go, "Hey Becky, I'm having a bad day. I'm struggling."
Yep.
Becky's like, "Talk to me. What do you got going on? What do we do?" We don't go down that rabbit hole from like every single thing from the entire past that's happened. We just let's deal with right now today. Because up until this moment right now,
Yeah.
you are who the fuck you are. Everybody in this podcast, you are who you are. Nothing talking about the past is not going to fucking help. You know who you are right now. If you need to focus on that past to fix it, you talk to a therapist, you understand those things, you make your goals, and then you move forward to the next thing. That's it. Right.
Yeah.
And I love the support that everybody has. I'll tell you, one of the biggest supporters besides you, Becky, is Emily as well. She's very smart when it comes to those
Yes.
ways, when it comes to that stuff. I mean, this is her job. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that idea
Yeah.
of what she
Absolutely.
provides and the things that she said, I don't know how many times she said something to me, and I paid that forward to like 20 people. Like in my eyes, I'm like, well, I can't pay Emily for the friggin', the therapy and the counseling that she gives me, so I might as well pay it forward to
Yeah.
somebody else, right? So they can learn from it.
But that's what it's about, is learning different things and being able to share that with
Mhm.
other people. Not holding it for ourselves. It's sharing it with other people. That is what this whole journey is all about, is being able to, support other people and provide them with the knowledge that, that you have learned. And, I love the fact, I think every person that is in here right now and that is listening and participating, my goodness, you all are brave people. You are amazing people. You are brave. And I applaud each one of you, because you're making a choice to change things, or to learn new techniques,
Mhm.
or to offer advice yourselves to help other
Yeah.
people. You know what
Like
I'm saying? And
the things
that,
that people learn with their struggles are the things that they pay forward, that becomes that thing that maybe helps that next person that maybe
yes,
didn't couldn't sit down, couldn't take that time to sit down with somebody and talk to somebody or something. You know what I'm saying? Even if you do sit down and talk to a counselor or a therapist, uh, uh, 90% of the time you're probably not going to hear the same shit that somebody else said to somebody else
right.
that helped them, right?
Well,
It's two different people, two different opinions, right?
let me tell you, the last couple therapists that I spoke with, they shared their story with me. And I think, I told my husband, I said, I think she talked more than I did, but it made her feel good. And, therapists need people to listen to their stories too,
Mhm.
and so I actually ended up walking away going, you know what? I feel pretty good. She left feeling good, and,
Well,
we both related.
sometimes it's that comparison. It's that
Yeah,
idea that like you're not talking to somebody who hasn't been through shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
I don't think therapists become therapists because they haven't gone through anything and they're just like, I want to help all the people that do go through shit. Like that's not, to me,
Absolutely.
that has nothing to do with it, right? It's somebody that's gone through shit that realizes in their life, I
100%.
I need to help other people like me, right?
Yeah.
I need to go through that. And
Yeah.
I fucking so love to, this, Becky. We've gotten on the phone conversation,
Yeah.
and I think we clocked for each other at least 20 or 30 minutes where neither one of us said something while the other person was just talking. I've
Yeah.
had that with Emily as well, where we were just talking and like she would say stuff and then I would say stuff, right? And there's that time where you just sit and listen and you sit
And
and
listen.
you focus your energy on that. And I think that it's it's a great one-on-one. It's great for counseling and therapy. I think it's amazing when people can do that counseling and therapy and they can
Oh,
kind of go through that. I think that's a very positive. I was never like that,
huge.
right? Because I was always being analyzed and I was always being studied. When I did my sleep studies, all I knew from therapists were, because of my head trauma, because of the brain, I don't like to say brain damage, but the brain alterations that I had from swellings and bleeds and stuff like that,
Yeah.
they were always being put like kind of compartmentalized in different categories when I did these sleep studies, when I did these neurological scans, when I did this stuff with the doctors. They were things that were like, here we have this, and here we have
Right.
this, and we don't know why this is doing this. So to me, talking to a therapist that were doing things like that to me when I wasn't seeing a therapist, I was like, fuck you. I don't need you. I don't want to fucking have anything to do with you, until I started talking about the emotional things that I was dealing with today.
Yeah.
Giving them a reference, giving a therapist a reference. Everybody in here, nobody in here needs to know each other's past. If somebody talks about something and you're like, I feel that, fuck, I feel that too, done. It doesn't matter where your past came from. If I get shot in
Yeah.
the arm and you get shot, if I get shot with a 45 and you get shot with a BB, it could hurt the same for you as it does for me, Becky.
Sure.
That 45 to me, to your BB gun, I mean, we could be in the same amount of pain. So it
Right.
doesn't really matter where you go through in your life or what you come from in that comparison, because that comparison is the thief of joy. I said that on the last podcast. Comparison is the thief of joy. You get too busy comparing yourself to somebody else, trying to either outdo them or trying to be undermined
Oh, yeah.
by their comparison, and it takes away all that happiness. So instead of having to
Absolutely.
worry about everybody's past and what they went through and everything, how are we feeling today? What are we going through today?
Absolutely.
And a roll call earlier of whoever called out the video games, I think it was Kelly, calling out your first video game consoles. I guarantee you, Kelly didn't even mean to do this, but I guarantee you everybody thought, what was that first game I played on that console that I was, I remember that. And then they got a smile on their face and they started getting
Yes.
happy and they start thinking about it and they're like, this is amazing, right? That doesn't come with
Yeah.
a whole nother podcast that has to be about the Throwback Thursdays. It doesn't have to be that. That's just a roll call that said,
I love it.
let's think about this for a moment and just take
Yeah.
our brains away from all this fucking chaos and the cloudiness.
100%.
Right?
Absolutely. Well, especially talking about things that are so, intimate and personal to people, to be able to throw something out like that to kind of, I don't know, like little icebreakers, I guess, make
Mhm.
people feel comfortable.
Hey, Becky, what do we say to people that say sorry?
Yeah, we don't say sorry. We don't say sorry.
Becky and I are learning.
I was
Emily, you
just
gotta
trying to
learn. You
read
gotta learn
that.
that too. Sorry, I can't usually be on this podcast because it's usually a work day for me right now. But I'm so glad I've been here today. You guys brighten my day.
I
You
love
always,
it,
you always
Emily.
brighten the day.
I absolutely love you,
I know,
Emily.
Emily.
Thank
Emily's always
you.
right. Yeah.
I love it. Yes.
What is this? Pretty sure people are sick of seeing my face on the podcast. I'm like the annoying person who hangs on the. Here's the thing, Emily. You got that same idea in your head that both Becky and I have when it comes to it. Only I have to be on my podcast, and Becky doesn't have to be on the podcast, and you're in Australia. So regardless
Right.
of how you look at it, I'm pretty sure that when we get on the podcast and we're sitting here talking about stuff, we're having a great time, and that's the hard part, is that I think a lot of people don't realize the impact that they have on other people, right?
Right.
And
Absolutely.
I didn't realize that until I met all you guys at the 40th and things like that, right? I mean, you and Dejan I met walking back from Cannon Beach from the bonfire,
I know.
right? And I remember both you guys, I gave you guys hugs separately, right? And both of you guys after the hug said the same thing. That was a good hug. Like that's a good hug. Like that's a right. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, because you sometimes when you need that,
Yes.
it's there for you, right?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I think isn't it funny that you can look at your entire past, you can look at all the shit that you went through, you can look at like the heartache, the love loss, the life loss, the money issues, the struggles that you have, you're fucking tired, you're doing all this shit, and in that one little fucking moment, today in the present, when somebody shows up in front of you and gives you like an 8-second to fucking 8-hour fucking hug,
It's everything.
everything just kind of goes away and becomes so obsolete in that moment that it's not that important. We're going to get through it. We're going to wake up tomorrow. And guess what? If we don't wake up tomorrow, then we can only be so lucky to be in a fucking better place somewhere that's got like
100%.
fucking unicorns and Sasquatch. For some reason, like my little Valhalla, heaven, whatever you call it, to me, for some reason, always has a unicorn, right? I don't know. Get this the weird. Okay, in my head, it's a black unicorn and a fucking Yeti, a white Sasquatch, right? And they're just hanging out, just chilling. Why? Because I've never seen either one of those, and I think it'd be fucking cool to see.
It
You
would
know,
be amazing, right?
right? And so, but that's the thing though, is we focus our energy on today. We deal with today. We focus
Yeah.
our energy on the past. We don't get to live today.
That's right.
And if we focus worrying about the future, we also don't get to work or to live today.
Absolutely.
So once we
Absolutely.
start fixing today, we come on this podcast and people come in here. What's the first thing? Hey, what's up? How you doing? Hey, how's it going? When somebody says what? Had a rough day. What do we ask? What happened? And then you say
Yeah.
this, and then it's like a little bit of support. And then the person gets
Yeah.
on here, they have a couple laughs. Next thing you know, we're just having a great time, right?
Having
Like
a good time.
that's the part that I'm trying to get to in my life. And
Yeah.
I have been so stuck as of probably about 4 or 5 months ago to let's see the rest of my fucking life before stuck on this mental side of my happiness that says I cannot pull myself away from the things that happen to me and in me, in my head, my heart, everything. I cannot pull myself from this. But what I can do is I can focus on what's going to happen tomorrow. And in my head, I
Yeah.
thought, okay, if I can focus on what's going to happen tomorrow and I don't have to worry about the past, where's my focus? It's on both sides of the things that I can't control. But the
Absolutely.
one thing I can control is the thing that's happening right
Right
fucking now.
now. Yes.
I love when somebody messages me and I know that they're local in Washington. If somebody messages me and says, oh, fuck, I've had a rough day. Is there anything I can do? And they say, oh, just be great to get a hug. Where do you want to meet?
Right.
Like, what's between us? Where do you want to meet?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
sometimes I've literally drove 25 minutes to give a hug probably 3 different times over the course of a 5-minute conversation, and then legitimately knew, and for a man, for a friend of mine, and legitimately stopped
Yeah.
and said, we're good. I hit my 5 minutes. You got 3 hugs. Go get your quota elsewhere, but we're done here.
That's
Like, go
awesome.
do your thing, right? And I'm gonna leave. Why? Because anything more than that goes down a rabbit hole of what the past has done and what the future doesn't hold, because
Yeah.
we can't foresee that happening, right?
Absolutely.
And it's so in my head, I can say it out loud, I can feel it, I can think it, I can do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then there's a moment where I need that and I forget
Absolutely.
it. And that's where I need to
Yeah.
fucking make a list and go, list of things Dustin needs to remember that he already said that he did, that he doesn't want to do the next day, but did the yesterday, that blah, blah, blah. That's the list I need. Some fucking wacky shit like that.
No, I get it. Yes. Yes. No. It's, you know what? It's always a work in progress. It's never going to be perfect. You know what? It's just something that I'll just speak for myself that I'm going to have to work on probably for the rest of my life. And I'm okay with that. But I will tell you that I am a better person than I was 5, 6 years ago, or even 10, 15 years ago.
Mhm.
You know, I've learned so much about myself. But again, it's a work in progress, and it will always be a work in progress. And as long as I am working to better myself, then you know what? We're going down the right road, and that's
Right.
okay. You know, it might take me, 80, 90 years, but y- but I think that's just humans for us. You know what? We are always a work in progress, you know?
Exactly.
So
I want to know what people are in here talking about. Frogger, whatever you do not play FC26. Just look on TikTok, FC26 crash out, and that's how it feels playing the game for me.
oh, that's funny.
Yeah, right. Let's see here. Yeah, I was no fucking filters, but Peyton Kip. Okay, yeah. I have a original stand up Frogger.
I love
You
it.
know, I wish that Astoria was on the way, like, or I was on the way to Astoria for you. Like, I know you fly in, Becky, but like you would just fly into, or do you drive? Did you
No,
drive
I
last night?
drive.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So you
Oh
would
yeah.
just drive straight to Astoria. There'd be no reason for you to come up here. But in my head, I was thinking, I was like, how many? It'd be cool to get a whole bunch of us to just
I
come
know.
into town and then go down. Then I thought, I'm not going to be able to friggin' drive everybody with my truck. I'd have to rent a bus. Ooh, a Goonies bus.
The Goonies bus.
How many times have I seen a bus on Facebook Marketplace that's like $3,500 or something like that? I should buy
Right?
a
Like a
bus,
really
paint
long
it black.
school bus.
Uh oh, hold on. Hello, son.
I'm able to be, or I'm gonna, or sorry, hold on a second.
What's going? Are you okay? Are you ready to be picked up?
They said,
That you can work. Okay, so tell them I'm not going to pick you up till midnight. I'm just joking. I'll leave in like 10 minutes and come pick you up.
should I?
No.
No pizza.
No pizza.
All right.
I love you.
Okay.
You can have some soup, son. I'm on the podcast right now. Really,
All
you're going to talk to me and tell everybody what you're talking about?
We're gonna have soup today, I guess.
Yes, you are, son. Love you. See you in like 20.
That's funny.
I just hang up on my son. I'm like, see you in 20. Goodbye. Yeah, it's funny. But no, I think that there's a kind of a huge shift, I think, lately in what I've been seeing with people. I think that towards the end of summer, beginning of fall, this kind of feeling, right? This like it was like the end of August and all of September, I felt there was just a lot of negative going on. There was a lot of people were kind of going through a lot of shit, right? And I don't know. It's just one of those things where I think people need to realize more what they have to offer as opposed to what has been done to them, and they aren't able to get through. Maybe if I'm saying that even fucking remotely close, I think that like so many people are like, I cannot do this because of this. I'm an advocate for that negative side as well. I can't say that I'm not. I've been there.
Yeah.
I cannot do this. I struggle. I get down really dark really fast with things that I've been dealing with lately, and it's hard to pull out of that, right? I get that.
Absolutely.
The other side of it is I think that the dependence that people are having on others to support their own happiness, I think is the thing for me that I'm like, I get into that dark place. I need to be able to get myself out. I know nobody else is going to do it, right? But
Yeah.
while I'm sitting there doing that, I have people reaching out, wanting me to like pull them out. And I'm like, my arms are getting tired, my shoulders are getting tired, trying to like help other people. That then I realize that I'm now drowning because I can't swim, I can't get out, right?
Sure.
And so I think it's been that kind of struggle lately for me a lot more. Obviously, for other reasons, I'm going through other things, health issues, along with loss, and there's stuff that's currently happening that I'm going through that sucks, right? But it doesn't mean that I have to be that kind of person that sits in there
Yeah.
and focuses my energy on that thing and then tells everybody else this is what you need to do to get out. Like how
Yeah.
hypocritical is that, right? Like I'm struggling, this is the thing that I'm doing, and then now I'm going to fix myself and then tell everybody else the thing that they need. There are messages upon messages upon messages on my Facebook that are questions of people asking me, I heard what you said about this. Here's my little story. What do you think? And I think to myself so many times how I've told these people, you know what I think? I think you know exactly what you need to do, because the moment I tell you to do something and you can't or won't or refuse to do that, becomes bad advice on my side. Like I'm the one that now is going to look to be the blame because of that. If somebody has the energy and the reinforcement to say out loud what they're dealing with, I think you also have the same amount of strength and energy to be able to tell yourself what you need to do to get away from that. It's that moment that you sink into yourself, that you don't know what to do, that you're lost, you get quiet, you just pull in.
Yeah.
That's when people need to bring you out. You need to go, like, just raise your hand and be like, please.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Those are the dark moments. I get that. But if you have enough in you to even speak on your past, the struggles, the things that you had going on, and you know your way out, it's asinine to think, why the fuck don't you just pull yourself out, right? And in my head, this is what I'm going through. This is the thing that I'm going through. I had to think about this all fucking day getting ready for this podcast, thinking, well, I already posted the fucking thing saying I was going to do it. Now I can't fucking back out, right? Which is, I do deliberately sometimes to make sure I don't back out. I tried to post that thing saying podcast tonight, and then I'm like, fuck, why did I do that? Like, because then I'm like, in my head, I get closer to the end of the day, and I've been sitting here dwelling and thinking about this, and it doesn't work. It's like, it's just hard, right? And
It is hard. It is hard.
yeah,
But again, if you reach one person, again, that is everything.
mhm.
It doesn't matter if you have 2 people in the podcast, 30 people.
I
My
said it would be
goodness.
a lot easier if I had 0.
Or-
Because then I wouldn't have to worry about any comments to go over. I'd just be sitting here talking to myself, staring at my ugly face, be like, "Hey, Dustin, what's up, man? How you doing?" You know what I'm saying? Like, it
Yeah.
would be, and it's funny too to think that way. That like, how much easier it would be if nobody was here to support or do something in a mental health podcast. Because how define irony? The person I'm trying to help the most by doing this is myself. I'm in trying to impact other people by focusing on my own health and doing it that
Absolutely.
way, right? And you and I talked about that. The reason why I started this was because yours and my conversation. The reason why we started the group
Yeah.
was because yours and my conversation, because we
Yeah.
wanted to take a stand for ourselves with our mental health, our
Absolutely.
physical health, and we wanted to do better,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And you start to do that. And then I started this, the mental health podcast and the other podcast, and I somehow found 20 hours a week with 2 side jobs, 1 main job, being a single dad and running an Etsy store. And somehow there's an extra 20 hours for me to do fucking 4 podcasts a week. And I'm thinking, how the hell am I fucking out of shape? I have that much time to do podcasts. I should have been working out. So I told people I'm gonna do podcasts every like I'm gonna do the podcast, the nightly ones. Only the first like 30 minutes is gonna be just me working out, just getting her done, just
getting it done. Yep.
Just getting it done, right? Just why not start with that?
Yep. No.
But no, it is. It is. I know. I'm not even looking at the chat right now because I know kind of what they're gonna say. But I can guarantee right now that you have to be very careful about the way that you are giving your energy to other people that not only, for one, might not deserve it, 2, may discard it, 3, won't ever appreciate it, but then on the other levels, maybe they actually need it. Maybe they're literally struggling worse than you. And then the last but not least is you can impact their life way more than you can impact your own right now. So it's so much easier to help that other person knowing that you're going to get something away from that.
Yeah.
If I talk to you and I'm on the phone conversation, I got nothing going on right now for me. It's like, well, I'm playing some video games, hanging out, fucking talking to Becky. And you're struggling with something and I'm helping you and we're talking through it and I'm trying to give ideas and we're doing that. When I get off that phone conversation, I feel good because I helped one of my good friends.
Absolutely.
That's what I feel, right? And I think that some people go, make sure you're mindful of how you do that. And I think to myself, if I'm multitasking, Becky doesn't know that I'm killing people in Call of Duty. She's talking to me and I'm talking to her, and that's what she's getting from it.
Yeah.
While I'm in a video game multitasking because I'm playing with some of my boys, just telling them I'm not going to talk to them for the next 30 minutes, right? So for me, it doesn't pull away from my life and it doesn't pull away from my psyche or my emotions, right? But then on the other side of it, I do have to be mindful on how many messages I do answer per day, which I usually do. Short and sweet, or I answer them and I say, hey, I'm okay. Like, we're good. Everything's good. I'll come talk to you later type of thing. Was that Virgil?
It is.
Virgil there?
Virgil.
Virgil!
Come here.
Did I mute my
He's
mic?
putting up Halloween decorations.
What's up, brother? How you doing, my man? So if you guys want some really good scary decorations, just whatever you have, like a skull or like a scarecrow, just put a picture of me on there. I'll give you a nice mean mug. Just be a whole Halloween of Dustin. Scary.
That is funny.
Scary.
Yeah, we ended up like doing a cave coming up to our front yard. Oh yeah, every year we do a huge Halloween thing. It's so much fun. We ended up the year before that, like 300 kids coming to the house.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite a bit.
It was fun. It's a lot of fun. So, but yeah, no, you know what, Dustin? I think when people have someone listening to them and they're coming from a place of love and concern, and it's safe, and I hope that everybody who is on this podcast know that everything that's being said, one, it's a safe place. It's never going to go anywhere else.
Nope.
And again, it's coming from, love and experience. And again, what works for one person may not work for another, but to hear each other's journeys, and to and again, not to live in the past, but you know what, to go, I still can't get over this. I keep going back to it. You know what? You're not the only one. You're not the only one, and it's normal. It's normal. So,
But let's work on how
let's
are
work
we going
on
to
it.
get out of this? Right? Like
Absolutely.
if I talk to you and you talk to me and we give each other 15 minutes of the saddest part of our stories and we did that every single day, I
Yeah.
guarantee you we would never get ahead. We would never
100%.
we would never get to the next positive thing in our life, right? But
Yeah.
to me, I feel like you woke up and you messed up your fucking bed. That's your past. You woke
Yeah.
up, your bed is all fucking messy. That's your
Make
past.
it.
Make your fucking bed and get to the fucking day, right?
Make
And
it.
that's the
Yes.
next thing. Now again, I'm like I said, I don't ever want to get the misconception.
Yeah.
Therapy is good, counseling is good. If you need that, seek it out. If you aren't already getting it, then get
Yeah.
that to be able to talk deeper because not only are they smarter, but they have degrees and they have learned and made this their life
Absolutely.
mission to help people on a psychological level. This
Yeah.
podcast, however, I have to keep reiterating it because I've already been reached out. So here's the thing, you guys. And I'm going to say this because it's so funny that I got like 30 something shares, which is like 3 times more than what I normally get. And that was for last week's for the no fucking filter, right? If if I get that many, and then it was like a fraction of what we normally do in like the podcast for like comments and like views and stuff, right? Which is it is what it is. I don't care. I thought it was hilarious that the shares were so much, but then the views were so small in comparison. Here's the goal, you guys, for the next probably till next week 1, 2, 3. Okay, so next Thursday. So not this coming Thursday, but the Thursday after. I have people that are watching the show, like the different shows, and they will be evaluating possible sponsorships for the show
Okay.
per show. So my idea is to let's bring more people to be a part of it, right? Of the show to be able to show them what it's about on a bigger level. This mental health awareness night is not a therapy and not a counseling session, and I have to continually say that because that
Yeah.
was the whole way that I was selling this podcast tonight. The whole way that I was selling this was we are a group of warriors, shield maidens and Vikings,
Love
if you
it.
will, Spartans and Spartanettes, I don't know.
Heck
And we're
yeah.
basically just warriors that are fighting the day-to-day struggle of financials,
Yeah.
family, love, loss, all that stuff. And it's not going down the road on how we're going to fix each other. It's
Yeah.
going down the road on how we can support one another. Obviously,
Absolutely.
Tuesday nights is fucking ladies' night, trivia nights, Goonies night. Throwback Thursdays is your retro nostalgia, and then the
Yep.
no fucking filter Friday, which is actually the leading one that they were interested in, of the idea to be able to have a podcast that
Love
had
it.
zero structure of topics and went down rabbit holes. I've already been dubbed now on YouTube. YouTube now automatically gives me the explicit 18 and older fucking from my no
Oh, that's
fucking filter.
funny.
So they automatically do it. When the podcast starts on Fridays, it automatically goes to 18 and older. And YouTube does that. So I was
Nice.
like, cool. I didn't know how to do it. So that's great. But all in all, I do want to thank everybody for coming in. I got to go pick up my son from his job because that's what single dads do. We pick up our kids from their jobs when they're
Yeah.
teenagers. My gosh, I guess that's the day I start feeling old is when he got this job and I'm taking him to work and he's doing his thing and I'm just like, fuck. I'm
I
like,
know.
one down, one to go, right?
Yes.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, so I think, but ultimately, I think it's one of those things where like I have no problem helping people feel better, having a good day, that kind of stuff. Everybody has their own emotions, everybody has their own life that they're going through and they're struggling with, right? This podcast is for those people that want to come on, be positive, be helpful, be supportive, and I get that you're struggling with things, but at that
Yeah.
same time, it's it's a rough road for everybody in all different kinds of ways, and we don't need to dwell on the past, and we don't need to dwell on any kind of negativity. We want to build people up and build that positivity where we
Yeah.
can also find this as a safe place where
Absolutely.
people's emotions can come out and how they're struggling on a day-to-day level
Yeah.
and feel like that's valid, right?
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
hopefully people feel that way.
yeah. It's a journey. It's a
Mhm.
journey. We're all on it together, and we're all here to help each other. It's an amazing journey, and
Right.
we're all lucky to be able to share this with each other. So, nope, we're all very blessed. And with that being said, I look forward to the next podcast. I think next Mondays. Um, Again, I think this is something that is so needed and so important, to be able to reach out to people that are going through whatever emotions and feelings that they're going through. Again, man, life is a journey, and we're all in it together. So,
Exactly, right. And we're
but
not
yeah,
and we're not going to get out of this without a fight,
that's right.
right?
Absolutely. Yes. Heck yeah.
Awesome. Becky, thank you for coming on, and
Yeah,
do me a favor and try to come on one of the Thursday night podcasts too, because that's
absolutely.
come hang out with Daryl and I so we can do
That
some
would be
throwback
fun.
Thursdays, and we'll get Virgil in there too.
Oh my gosh.
He'll stand behind you and give us some of his thoughts on some 80s
Oh,
nostalgia.
I could only imagine.
Right on, Becky. You have a good
Awesome.
night. Everybody else in here, you guys have a
Good
good
night,
night as well.
everybody.
All right. Talk to you later.